Hello and welcome back to another video. Today I am back with something new and different. I like to switch it up and it's a new year, so I'm on some new shit. It's a new day, I'm on some new shit. You feel me? I ain't gonna hold you guys too much longer. I'm so excited to get into this new series that I am starting, and let's dive straight into it, shall we? And just before I start getting on the main topic of today, I want to kind of discuss the inspiration behind CPR just a little bit. This entire series is going to cover my very own personal experiences and just my own journey in fulfilling my goals. More specifically, I feel like it has been my career goals that have driven me and inspired me to come to these conclusions and find a way to take action and gain the tools necessary in order to fulfill my goals. However, CPR and everything within this series really touches on all kinds of goals, career goals, health goals, just any kind of mental goals, your self-esteem, your identity. Another thing I want to acknowledge is that this series will be a highlight of the wisdom I was able to gain in the process and along my journey. And this series will also cover part of my journey as well, because as much wisdom as I have been able to gain over the past few months and tapping into this, I'm still on that journey currently as I speak, and I would also love to share that as well. So that's what I'm here for, and that's what this series is all about. If you have any other questions though, because I feel like I roughly touched on it, but if you have any other questions about this series or just the inspiration behind it, feel free to ask in the comments, because I feel like there might be something I'm not touching on. So if you got any questions, drop them in the comments and I'll gladly answer them. But let's really get into it, shall we? CPR translates into the 3 types of actions that I have found are necessary in order to achieving your goals and just overall fulfillment. Now, I won't be getting into those 3 types of actions today, not just yet, but today I will be getting into the 2 things that we need before we even get into action, okay? We have to prepare for action. What do we need in order to begin taking action towards our goals? We're going to need purpose and we're going to need commitment. Those are the 2 things we are going to need in order to begin taking action towards our goals. Within our goals, purpose serves as the reasoning behind the decisions that we're making and also the actions that we are taking, which is why it's important to understand the purpose in what it is we are doing. In my journey, purpose has really been an anchor for me, to really understand why I am doing what it is I'm doing, right? However, when we're talking about purpose and really getting the ball rolling and getting into action, we want our purpose to be more than just about the end goal, like, oh, of course, the reason I'm working out is to lose this weight, or the reason I'm eating this food is to have this healthy diet, or the reason I'm using this skincare product is to clear my skin. While the end goal does serve as a purpose, it is far too wide and too big in order for us to have a better chance at bringing our dreams and our goals to life. And so in my experiences, I have found that instead of just having and relying our purpose on something that can seem so far away and feel so far away at times, especially while in the process, especially when you knees deep into it and that's feeling so far and everything starts to feel like so much, I find it completely necessary for us to find purpose in the process. So we can easily acknowledge the purpose and our end goal, which is just as equally as important. You know, we want to understand what the end goal is. What are we trying to get out of this? We also want to understand, or even just open ourselves up to, the purpose within the process of achieving our goals. It is in the process of achieving our goals where character development happens. You know, we gain the courage to do this thing despite the odds that are stacked up against us, where we gain the strength to keep going although the end is unknown. We're not even completely sure if we're going to see the other side. It is in the midst of our goals where we're able to gain character, and also where we're able to pick up good habits for ourselves that bleed into other parts of our life that were completely unexpected. So when we're talking about purpose, I encourage you to open your mind to what more possibilities lie in you fulfilling this goal and pursuing this goal. Of course, the end goal is going to come about, and that's what's in the hopes. But what else in the process? Where else in your life can you going down this journey, going down this road, truly take you? And finding purpose in the midst of it is going to anchor us even more. We're going to show up every day understanding that me showing up today is more than the end goal. It is affecting every other part of my life, and that more easily can encourage us to show up every single day. So when we're talking about purpose, it's just important and necessary that we point out our end goal and that we acknowledge the purpose that lies in the process as well. All right, purpose is a bit simple, you know, a dual purpose. Let's put it that way. It's very simple. Next is commitment. Now, commitment has a few layers to it, so walk with me, okay? First, what is commitment? That's very important. Commitment is the investment or the deal that we make to invest our time, energy, attention into something with, this part is important, with the intention of receiving something in return. Because that's a part of the deal, right? Like whenever you're making a deal with something or anything in any type of shape or form, we are making an agreement to give something with the intention of getting something in return. So it's important that we understand what it is that we are trying to get out of whatever it is we are doing when we're talking about commitment. For example, right now in my life, I am pursuing a career in interior decorating, right? And a lot of the things that I'm doing, of course, I have this end goal and I want to be an interior decorator, you know, an established interior decorator with clients and just an established career, you know, in that field. And as of right now, I am taking my time, my energy, and my attention, and I am putting that into learning about interior decorating, right? Now, as much as doing that does feed to the bigger goal, it's important to truly understand and just understand more in depth on why I'm doing that. I am investing my time, energy, and attention into learning about interior decorating. Of course, to be an established interior decorator, right? But more specifically, to be a knowledgeable and talented interior decorator, right? Which that feeds into the bigger goal. But the more that you can better understand the commitment, exactly the commitment you're making to its depth like that, the bigger and better picture you have. When I realized this, it really grounded me a lot and made me realize, like, oh, okay, this is where I'm at with it. Understanding the commitment that I'm making in that way, in that shape and form, to that depth, to that extent, it gave me a better focus, a better aim. Instead of having this big picture of being an established interior decorator, it's now like, wait, I'm working on the talent part of that. And so it gives me something a bit more specific to focus on. Ultimately, it just really helped to chip it into bite-sized pieces. Like, okay, this isn't so big. This I can do. Okay, like I'm doing this in order to be knowledgeable and talented in the field. It's really a lot more simpler put that way, and a lot more chewable in that way, you know, instead of, you know, I'm doing this to be an established interior decorator. You know, there's so many more steps to it, and that's such a big picture and such a big frame, and that could be a lot at times, and that pushes my focus and my attention to really kind of be a bit more scattered, more prone to being scattered. And when truly there is levels, there is steps to this, and that is the first step, is being knowledgeable in the field. And so how about we focus on that rather than this big picture? We're aware of the big picture, we don't have to always focus on it though. So boiling down and getting very specific about what it is you are committing yourself to and investing your time and energy into in your goals is going to help you focus and have an aim in what it is you're doing. And in doing that, it's important to also understand that commitment is going to, obviously, if it isn't obvious already, it's going to be one of those things that is forever growing and changing as you do. We're not always going to be investing our time and energy in the same ways, you know, and that's why it has to always be changing. That's why it's important to be very specific about it, because if we just focus on the big picture and we're committing our time and energy and our attention into our goals in the same way from the first step to the fourth and the fifth and the sixth, it's not going to make sense. We're at the fourth step. We're doing things different now than whereas when we were at the first step. Commitment is always changing and progressing as we do. Just for an example, let's say I get to that point where I feel as I'm very knowledgeable and I feel very secure and in that talent, in that knowledge of the field. And let's say I'm doing different things and I'm more so focused on releasing projects or just putting out my work. I'm not going to be doing things in the same manner. I'm not even going to be doing the exact same things. There is no longer going to be notes or me taking a lot of time out to better understand different aspects of interior decorating, you know. As we grow in our goals, as we take more and more steps down the line and change, so does our commitment. Commitment is truly how we are able to cut down our goals and dreams into manageable pieces. And so with that being said, commitment is one of those things that you want to regularly check up on at least a monthly basis. At least once a month, taking the time out to look at the commitments that you have made and look at the progress you're making, you know. So it's like, okay, I have been committing my time and energy and attention into doing this for the past month, and in doing so I have progressed here. And sometimes that might call for a new commitment depending on where you're at, and sometimes it might not. But if it were to, it's like, okay, I've been doing this for the past month or months, and I'm now at this point and I'm ready to take it here now. I'm no longer like I'm past that step now. I'm ready to take it here now. And so then our commitment changes. And it grows over and over and over until next thing you know, your goals, your dreams are fulfilled, and you are now in that space and place that you had always dreamed of and maybe never even actually thought would be. It be like that sometimes, don't get me wrong, cause like I be putting in the work, but it's like you actually get there, it's like, wait a goddamn minute, like, bitch, I'm in it. I'm in it. That is everything for commitment, though. That is everything for the first two things we want to have before diving into action. We want to have purpose, and not just any kind of purpose. We want to have a dual purpose, a purpose that serves as our end goal, and a purpose that serves us within our journey. We want to be committed. Commitment is an understanding what it is we're trying to get out of what it is we're doing on a very specific and to its fullest depth. And we also understand that commitment is something that is forever growing and changing and progressing as we do throughout our goals and throughout our journey. That is everything for this first video within my CPR series. I am so excited because I've been working on this for months. I'm just super excited that I'm now at a point where I'm ready to share it. Not only share it, but to continue progressing upon this guide and bringing my dreams to life and just the journey of it all. But I'm so excited. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any kind of questions, anything that you can relate to, or just better want to understand, or just something that you took from it, anything at all that you want to comment, please, I dare you to drop something in the comments of what it is you got out of this video, or something you relate to, or something that you better want to understand, etc., etc. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I will see y'all. Until next time.